Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how are you all doing? My name is Echo and welcome to a very popular and requested video. In today's video, I'm going to be bringing you 5 top tips to help you win, to help you improve at the Pixel Gun 3D Battle Royale game mode. Now, I'm not saying I'm the best at this game mode, but these tips can definitely help you out. At this current moment of me making this video, I have a total of 44 Battle Royale wins. So I'm quite frequent at winning this. I have been playing it for quite some time, so I kind of know the best weapons, the best places to go, and just overall top tips. Now, if you guys do enjoy this video and you would like to see even more top tips for Pixel Gun 3D Battle Royale, then please be sure to hit that like button. I also want to know in the comment section how many Battle Royale victory wins do you have on this game mode. So the first thing I want to show you guys is, in case you guys are new to Pixel Gun 3D, they introduced this, which is Battle Royale Royale Islands. Now it's currently in beta, and very, very soon the map is about to be 8 times bigger. So I might bring you an updated Battle Royale tips video when the map does change, but for now, this is for the size of 30 people, and the games usually last around about 5 to 8 minutes. Not incredibly long, but pretty easy to get some wins. Anyway, let's get into this because it's time for my top tips. Before we get into this, I just want to mention the gameplay you do see is what I recorded before making this video. I played a total of 4 games and we won 3 out of 4 of those games just by simply using the tips that I'm about to share with you in today's video. So if you do enjoy it, would like to see a part 2, be sure to hit that like button. So tip number 1 is to make sure you jump from the plane as soon as possible. As soon as you have the option to jump from the plane, do it. Go in one direction, don't start wiggling around. Go down to the floor as soon as you can. Now, obviously, you're going to want to try and land next to a chest. The reason why I'm telling you to jump straight away, guys, is because getting to the floor earlier on is a lot better than waiting and hang around in the air. The reason why is because not always is your first chest going to be a great chest. Sometimes you could end up with the default shotgun, the default primary weapon, the default pistol, which are absolutely garbage. If you end up with a terrible chest to start off with, you always have the chance of opening 2, maybe 3 more chests, and obviously getting better weapons. Now also, as soon as you land, guys, as soon as you are on the floor, always look around in your surroundings, see where other players landed. Try and make sure no one landed too close to you, because if you do have a bad weapon, my best suggestion is to get the hell out of there. Otherwise, they could end up with a good weapon and you could die. So always know your surroundings, always try and remember where the majority of players do jump. So hopefully tip 1 does help you out a little bit. Get to the floor as soon as possible, because it means you're going to get a weapon as soon as possible. Because I don't know if you've noticed, in Pixel Gun 3D Battle Royale, the zone comes in really quick. So getting to the floor means you get a weapon, means you are prepared. So that is tip number 1. So tip number 2 is kind of like a carry-on from tip number 1. As soon as you have landed, make sure you get a weapon straight away. The sooner you have a weapon, the sooner you are able to start making your way towards the zone. Now, I've kind of tested this in my own time. If you land the other side of the map where the zone isn't, it will literally take you the whole entire time to get to the zone before the zone does come in. You are really, really limited on time. So as soon as you have a weapon, make sure you start to make your way towards the zone. And if the zone is like on the outsides of the map, try and stick to the outside of the map. Keeping your back as close to the back of the zone is really important, because obviously 9 times out of 10, nobody's going to be outside the zone. In some lucky cases, you will hear people dying from the zone, which means they are starting to lose health. So as soon as you can kill them, you can take their weapon. So obviously, tip number 2 is a very, very basic tip, but that is, as soon as you have a weapon, a decent weapon, get yourself to the zone as soon as possible, because there's nothing more annoying than having to look at the map and also trying to look around for players as well. It's a lot easier to do one thing rather than doing 2 things, so make things a little bit easier for yourself, and of course, get yourself to the zone as much as possible. If you're already in the zone, guys, just keep looking around. Try not to stand still, keep moving as much as possible. It's a lot easier to hit a standing target than a moving target. You know this, I know this. This is kind of like a pro tip in any game, not just Pixel Gun 3D. Any Battle Royale game, whether it's Fortnite, Call of Duty, Battlefield, or PUBG, do not stand still. Always stay on the move. So tip number 2 is kind of like a combination of get to the zone, and do not stand still. So tip number 3 is probably one of my more important kind of tips. We're getting into the more important ones as gameplay does go along. So I'm trying to give you these tips as from the start all the way through the gameplay. So tip number 3 is that snipers are your friend. Any type of sniper is going to be your friend. From my experience, the best weapons you can have in this is definitely the snipers. Having some form of range over another player, even the default sniper, is definitely a positive move. So if you get a sniper, even the default weapon, use it, keep it. Try not to get rid of the snipers that have a zoom ability, whether it's a 2x zoom, 4, 8, 10, etc. If it has zoom, keep it. I think there's 1 or 2 snipers out there which are like bolt action, non-zoom. They're more like hip fire. It's kind of like a Wild Wild West kind of style weapon out there. It's not that good. Some snipers that I've really noticed are incredibly powerful. One is the Wyvern. The default one is really good. The Dart sniper is also really good. And obviously the Battle Royale snipers and stuff like that are really powerful. So tip number 3 is a combination alongside tip number 4. So tip number 3 is to make sure you have a sniper. They will be your best friend. Having long range over another player is incredibly helpful. So moving straight on to tip number 4. Tip number 4 is long range weapons are the best kind of weapon. Long range weapons are your friend. Now there's kind of like a very semi default weapon, which is like the blue camouflage one, which has like a knife on the end. That is a primary weapon. That is also really good. A couple of the weapons that I've noticed that do have a bit of long range is you've got the Vandals. They're incredibly good. You've got that weapon I was talking about, which is really, really good. You've got pistols. Even pistols that have a range ability are really good. Whether you get like 2 or 3 shots on a player, it doesn't matter, because over time they are going to die. Now there is health and the ability to regen in Pixel Gun 3D Battle Royale, but there's only like 2 or 3 health packs within the map. I've searched everywhere for them. If you're lucky, you'll find some extra health. So if you get the ability to have a long range weapon, maybe you get 2 or 3 shots on this player, that's fine. You didn't kill him, but eventually he is going to die because he really does not have that much health. So in terms of tip number 4, make sure you have a long range weapon. There is literally, I think every single category has some form of a long-range weapon, which is good, because you have the primary one, which is like the Vandals and stuff like that. The secondary one, which I've seen, is the Battle Royale revolver. That is good. There's a silenced pistol, which has a really long range. That is good. Sometimes they take a little bit of shots, but that is it doesn't matter. They're gonna take damage. There's no melee weapon that has long range. That doesn't really make sense. You do have a special section, which I think is kind of like a poison kind of weapon that does damage. Obviously, your snipers, you have a whole range of snipers that will do a lot of damage, which are always going to be good. And of course, you have like your heavy section. There's a couple of heavy section long-range weapons out there. So tip number 3 and tip number 4, kind of a combination together. Tip number 3 is snipers are going to be your best friend. Use snipers as much as possible, because a long-range battle is much better than a close range, especially if they have a really, really close-range weapon that could do damage. And tip number 4 is long-range weapons as a whole are the best kind of weapons in the Battle Royale. All right then, so tip number 5, the most important in today's video. Hopefully you take this into consideration. It's going to be a tedious one. It's going to be something that you're going to want to do, but it's something that I really do not highly suggest doing. And that is, do not go for the crown chests from the start. Now, there's 3 different categories in chests. I think it's like a brown/grey one. Then you've got a blue one. Then you've got a crown chest. Now, the crown chests are really enticing. It's something that you're going to get, but don't get it, all right? Trust me, if you see a crown chest from the start, the chances are 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 other players have also seen that chest. Now, from my testing on live stream the other day, every single time we went for the crown chests, we never won it. In some cases, you will win it. However, there's also going to be a ton of other players there as well, because they have seen that chest. You might get a couple of shots on some people, but if 5 people are hitting you with the battle shovel, you are going to die. I know the crown chests are fun. I know they have the best loot, but don't go for them. Chances are, if you're alive with an average weapon, something like the dart sniper, over time, you're going to kill a couple of people. One of them will more than likely have a crown chest, and they're probably incredibly injured. So don't go for the crown chest to start off with. You might find some in some buildings, which is good. That's a bonus. It means nobody else has seen that chest. But if you see a chest in the open that's a crown chest, don't take it. It's not worth it. I told you guys this multiple times on live stream. So that's pretty much my top 5 tips. I have plenty more tips that I can bring to you guys. I have plenty more tips that I use when playing. But I thought starting off with the very, very basic tips That's probably the best way to go in today's video. So just to quickly run through today's tips. Number 1, jump from a plane as soon as possible. Number 2, as soon as you have a weapon that's decent or a weapon in general, make sure you get yourself to the zone. Worrying about the zone and other players is more annoying than anything else. 3, snipers are going to be your best friend. 4, any long-range weapon is a good weapon. If it's got range, it works, it's good. And tip number 5, do not go for the crown chest. So hopefully you have learned something new. If you would like to see a part 2, be sure to hit that like button. Take care, stay beautiful, have a great day, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.